Sales standards and KPIs are the key to helping you hit $40,000 a month. My name is Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 3.5 years, we've helped 550 agents issue pay 40K. And on this channel, all I talk about is strategies, methods, and behaviors of those individuals, what they're doing, and how they are creating duplicatable success. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's hop right into the video. Okay, perfect. So for today, I want to talk about sales standards and KPIs. So when I say standards, all I mean is a preset goal for the day/week of how you will measure success in your agency. That's my little definition. Okay. And then my KPI, for those that don't know, that means key performance indicators. Oh, did I spell performance wrong? That's bad. Cool. Key performance indicator. Okay. So why a standard? All right. Now, the reason you want a standard is it gives a tangible metric to track. It also provides a goalpost. Okay. When I say goalpost, I think about sports, and you think about it gives you direction for the desired outcome. And that is where we're going. That's the goalpost. People, you hear that people say, move the goalpost. That just means move what the end result is that you're trying to get to. So when you have a tangible metric to track, okay, so let me give you an example of a standard. All right, I'm going to give you an example of our standard in my company. So my standard for the sales reps is $1,000 in cash collected per day. Okay, that's a standard, right? And I know that their goal is to at least get $1,000 in cash collected per day. That's new cash collected. Let me specify that. New cash collected per day. That's the goal. So a new client spends at least $1,000 with Agent Lead Lab. An example of an agency, so this would be a life insurance agent. Example would be you can have standards that are goal money oriented, like actual true desired outcome, or process oriented. I prefer process oriented goals, but like for life insurance agents is a little bit better in my opinion. For us, we have it as a number mark just because like we are agents, so we can kind of compartmentalize it, but nonetheless, that's kind of how you look at it. So as a life insurance agent or agency, an example would be 5 presentations per day. Or, 5 booked appointments. Or I'll give you another one, 15 booked appointments every 2 days. You need to have the standard be directly correlated to the law of averages, right? So even though my law of averages might be higher or lower, meaning, it takes me 5 booked appointments to make a sale, you need to take it of like the worst case scenario. So like if somebody gets 15 booked appointments, what's the probability to at least make 1 sale? Like basically everybody should, if you're doing, because you got to get, let's say 5 of them don't show up. That means you have 10 presentations, and then you got to close at least 1. There's got to be 1 laid out. So like worst case scenario, 15 books appointments should equate to 1 sale, right? And if you do that every 2 days, that's 30 booked appointments. That's 2 sales a week. And then if you do your average annual premium of 2K, as long as they don't spend more than 2K, they'll be profitable. And then you can work on the tangible skills that they need to improve. That is how I look at a standard. The reason why I would do this is because this is something that you can easily track. Did you do 5 presentations? Did you book 15 appointments? And then to really take the standard to the next level would be this: 15 presentations or 5 presentations per day, or 15 appointments every 2 days, or you cannot leave the office. See, this takes it to another level. Okay. So this would be level 1, right? This would be the level 1. Okay. This will be level 2. Okay. These are goal-oriented standards, right? You have price-oriented standards, or you could have like end outcome-oriented standards. And then you're going to have goal-oriented standards. Process-oriented standards. The most successful agencies have these. Okay. This is mine. Can it be process oriented? Yeah, but our business model is a little bit different. It's not as linear as like traditional sales, right? There's tons of different ways you can get paid. People get set up on certain days. That's not necessarily the same way that it is with these clients. Okay. One would argue, but nonetheless, just follow what I'm saying. If you're a life insurance agent or agency owner, this is the best way to do it. I would highly recommend that you do process oriented standards. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because level 1 is simple. Level 1 just means you're going to get 5 presentations a day or 15 booked appointments every 2 days, but there's no actual time limit on it. So you want to set the actual end. The way I look at standards is the expectation, and then now you're going to have a desired end date or time. That increases the efficiency of the standard, because if I say you can get 5 presentations in a day or 15 booked appointments every 2 days, what you need to say is, or you cannot leave the office, right? So what this look like is, let's say it's 5 presentations per day, or you cannot clock out / leave the office, right? And then that's that one. And then I say 15 booked appointments every Monday and Thursday, and you cannot leave until you book 15, right? This is for people that book appointments. This is for people that do one call closes. All right, so this is going to be for my one call close crew. This is going to be for my traditional booked appointment crew. You want to ensure success. This is how you do it. Because what happens is when you do 5 presentations a day, you're going to say 5 times 5 is 25. So I got 25 full presentations that week. If I got 25 full presentations that week, what's the likelihood that I don't make X in sales, right? And you can reverse engineer. It doesn't have to be 5. It could be 3. 5 is pretty hefty, but if you do 5, you're probably going to write like 20K a week. If you have enough leads, you have enough flow, and you got a dialer, you can do that. That's why virtual selling changed the game for people, and people can write so much more, because now you can work Monday through Friday or even Monday through Saturday. And if you get 5 presentations per day and you do that and you do a whole 30 presentations a week, that's 120 presentations per month. I mean, if you even like, you should close way more than that. Let's say you close half of them. That's literally 60 presentations that are closed. So if you average only 1,000, you see what I'm saying? So now the only thing is like, how many leads do you buy? See, when you have a standard, then everything else flows in line. A lot of people are like, well, I just need to buy more leads. Okay, well, based on what? We're going to get to KPIs in a second. First, you start with the standard. Okay, so now you have the standard. These are really the only 2 standards. It's like X presentations per day you cannot leave, and X booked appointments per day. So I'm going to give this to you as like a gem. All right, so this is literally what the standard can be. If you just duplicate this, you will be, if you follow everything I'm about to say, you will be successful. X presentations per day, or you cannot clock out until you leave, right? X presentations per day. And I say Monday and Thursday because if you have watched my videos on booked appointments, I've broke this down drastically, right? Cool. The reason why you do this is because Monday will give you Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday will give you Friday, Saturday. You work 6 days a week, take off on Sundays, or reverse engineer. Maybe you do on Saturday. Like, I know some people take certain days off, but you get the point. Okay. You can literally just use this. This is the formula. I actually just call this formula. Which, by the way, guys, just so you guys understand how I do these videos, I based them off previous things that happened. So essentially, I was away for a week. I got back. We ended up collecting like 3,200 or something like that. And no. Yeah, it was like 2,200 in cash collected. That was new today, which is like not amazing for us, but it was way better. When I was away, we were collecting like a new cash. It was like we had one day where we collected, I think, 1,200, right? So we collected an extra, and we had somebody out yesterday. So it was just me and one other guy when we normally have a 3-man squad. So it's like, when I'm around though, the standard's set, and it's like, no, we're going to do this. Now I need to continue to grow my business. That's me being transparent, right? We're collecting other cash just so people aren't confused. This is like new cash. So people that are coming fresh from ads that we closed that day. We don't count like LTV from 2-3 months ago. We have a ton of like new people that are, crushing, etc. But I hope you guys get the point. What I'm trying to get at is essentially that I came in and we did that, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, like, I just haven't done a good job setting the standard. Like, we're going to do this every day, even when I'm not here, because we can't just only do it when I'm here, because I can't grow if that's the case. Like, you guys have to be just absolutely crushed on your own, which they do. But relatively speaking, I did feel like it was a boosted thing, which is why I'm saying this works for if you're a life insurance agency. Simple. It's like, hey, did you do 5 presentations today? It's like, cool. Why are you leaving? It's like, oh, well, it's like, oh, well, this is the standard here. And like, if this is not going to work for you, then I don't think this is going to be a right fit. That's a standard. There's nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with you, but like, this is what we do here. That's a standard. That is the standard, right? Hey, we're going to book this many appointments every Monday and Thursday. So it's not Monday and Thursday 15. It's Monday 15, Thursday 15, right? So it's 30 for the week, or you can't leave. We're still getting to 30. 5 presentations a day for now you can change it if you want and maybe do like 10 booked appointments, but then you're only going to have 20. and then you could do like 3. But if you could set for 5, that'd be perfect. Presentations aren't that crazy. If you have enough leads and you're actually buying leads and you know how to do the virtual sales script and you're buying fresh leads, you can get 5 presentations a day. You just got to buy enough leads, which leads me to the next thing. Now, it's hard to hit these numbers. Like, these numbers are really hard to hit. And once again, I'm using, like, just so you guys understand, the end result is going to be this. All right. You're going to have X presentations per day times 5, or let's just say Y days, equals total output, right? X appointments per 2 times a week equals, so X appointments times 2 days equals total output. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is when we figure out what that total output is, so total output times 4 equals total opportunities. Now, the thing is, the presentations should be relatively lower than the appointments, but the appointments should have a higher, this will be the same, but the appointments should have a higher close rate. So let's say you do 5 presentations a day, but you only close like 2 or like 1. Let's say you just close 1.5, 2. But if you had 15 appointments every 2 days, you had 30, and let's say you had, 17 people show, you're going to close like 60, 70% of those 17 people, because all the effort that they go through, book appointments, show up, his and hers, and the premiums and stuff will be higher. So it always equals out, right? That's going to be basically like the total opportunities that you really had. Okay. Now, when we talk about KPIs, there's a reason why I love talking about this. It's super important to understand how this comes in. So the KPIs, for those, once again, this is key performance indicator. Essentially, what we're trying to look at is a few things. Now, we're going to have our CPL. That's just cost per lead. I went over this in another video. We're going to have our cost per booked appointment. That's just cost per booked appointment. We'll get into this in a second. We're going to have our cost to acquire client. So this essentially means cost to acquire client. And side note, this is relative to our law of averages, which we'll get to in a second. And then you're going to have your close per sale, just close per sale. So this essentially just means the average AP per sale that comes through. Okay. And then you're going to have your ROI. All right. So it's return on investment. All right. So cost per lead, really simple. How much does it cost you to get the leads that you buy? $5, $2, whatever. That's important because it leads to the next thing. It's cost per booked appointment. Was how many leads do you need to go through in order for you to book an appointment? So let's say you get, let's just do some simple math. Let's say you have, so let's say you get $5,000 worth of leads. So total amount, cost per lead times, okay, yeah, my bad. Let's do this first. I apologize. CPL times number of leads. Okay, so let's use an example. Let's say we have a $20 lead times 100 leads equals $2,000. Okay, which, by the way, guys, is like absolutely not. I mean, we're spending this in a week, which is another conversation, whatever. $20 per lead times 100 leads. That's $2,000 a week, right? That we're going to be basically, or $2,000 for the leads. I apologize. And let's say out of all those leads, I book 20 appointments. Okay, so 20 appointments booked. So that means you take 2,000 divided by 20, and that should get you what? This is horrible math. I'm sorry. Yeah, $100. So $100 cost per booked appointment. Okay. Now these numbers, by the way, this would be like a final expense lead type. $20 a lead, 100 leads. You know what I mean? Cool. So let's say it's $100 cost per booked appointment. Okay. And I think 20 booked appointments would be really bad. 20 booked appointments or presentations. Let's just put here, because this is going to be relative. Are you doing one call closes or are you doing booked appointments? But let's just say that these are the numbers. Let's do a little bit like more realistic. Let's say you get 35 booked appointments / presentations out of the whole thing. Okay. So actually, let's do this divided by 35. So 2,000 divided by 35 is 57. That's super low. That's actually like super low, but whatever. And let's just say that out of these 35 booked appointments, we closed you can even go down to cost per showed appointment and really take it granular. Because let's say out of those 35 booked appointments, you had, 75% show. So that's 26. So let's say 26 appointments showed. Okay. So now this is the actual cost per showed appointment. So 2,000 divided by 26 equals $76 per showed appointment. These are pretty high, by the way, guys. I'm just making numbers up as we go here. And then let's say that out of those people that showed, let's say out of those 26 people that showed, you close half of them. So you close 13 deals. Okay. So this is going to actually be 2,000 divided by 13, which will equal, I'll show you why these numbers are important, guys. 153. There we go. This $153 is going to be your cost to acquire a client. Okay. So I'm just showing you guys these numbers. You can see them so we can actually go through them. All right. So 2,000 is my investment divided by the 13 deals closed. That's the cost to acquire a client. And then let's say out of those 13 deals, let's just say out of 13 deals, I wrote 10K. Let's do a different number. Let's just do like 13,546 in AP. Okay. So 13,546. And we're going to take that and we're going to divide that by 13, which is 1,035. So 1,042 equals cost closed per sale. All right. And then my actual ROI, you take 13,546 by 2,000 is a 6.7x ROI. So ROI equals, this is going to be this 13,546 divided by 2,000 equals 6.7x ROI. That is essentially what we're looking at. I just want to make sure that's right. Yeah. So 2K and made 6.7. So 2,000 times 6.7 equals, yeah, exactly. So this is why these numbers are important, and it goes back up to here. So if you tell somebody that they can book 15 appointments a week, right? Because that's where we got 35 booked appointments or presentations, or we're just using 35. I'm just using this as an example from this first batch. And you can want to help people figure out what is your standard. So let's just say that this is me, like, and I did my numbers. This is what I have, and like this is like people can do this. Agents can do this. You're like, cool, makes sense. And then you say, so just so you understand how there's reverse engineers, 13,000. Let's just call it 13,000 to be safe times 4. So 13K times 4 equals 52 grand. Okay. So that's going to be, if you want your agents to put in like their bank account about 30K after chargebacks, advances, because if you're going to do 52,000, let's just say that you're going to get a 9-month advance. So now how do we do that? Yeah, I don't know how we do the advance part of it. 2,000, I'm tripping right now. Yeah, 46,800 would be advanced to you. No, that's not right. Yeah, I don't know how to do the math here. I'm absolutely tripping. But let's just, whatever, take the advance, whatever, take everything out. Let's say that the people are actually depositing 30K in issue pay business. I don't know why I just had an absolute brain fart, but you get the point. If you say like, I want all my agents to put into their bank account $30,000 every month after whatever, you say you put in there the fee for the leads and then the advance and then whatever, maybe a chargeback or two. They're getting 30,000 or even 25,000 into their bank account. Like actually, they get to keep. Then what you say is, if I want to build a team like that writes 52,000 on paper, but actually deposits 25 or 30K every month, and that means that they're making basically 300,000 ish dollars a year. What you easily say is, these are my numbers. So you need to be able to take this, reverse engineer it down to this. You can't just tell somebody, hey, bro, this is what we got to do. They're going to be like, that's way too much. You need to make it something tangible that they can focus on every day. So you have to first like start and just work to figure out what is your baseline metric. And then you reverse engineer the work to figure out what you need to do. So in this example, I got 35 appointments or presentations and 26 people showed. So theoretically, I need to do either 26 prezzies or 35 booked appointments. That's what this number says, because booked appointments showed is here, prezzies is here. Okay, so then I say, okay, if I had to get 26 appointments showed in a week, because this is per week, then what do I have to do? So I take 26, I can divide that by 6. That means I need to do 4 presentations of that. That's 4.3. Or I can do 35 and divide it by 2. That means I need to book 17.5. Now, is everybody going to do that? No. But I for dang sure know that if you told somebody they're going to write $52,000 of annual premium every month, so $600K a year on their own pen, they are more than likely going to be like, yeah, cool, sign me up. But you can't start with that. So even if they fall short, then you know, like, okay, you need to do about 17 booked appointments every 2 days, or you need to do 15 booked appointments every 2 days. If you can do that, then it's like, cool, you know what you're going to get, which is you're going to get the metric that's closest to give you the most desired outcome, which in this instance for them is going to be, you know, hey, I can write 30, 40, 50K into my bank account. That's what I would like to actually do. So now you can give them the confidence to know, like, this is exactly what the process is. Now, if you want to do presentations, you do the same thing, right? You just say, hey, you got to get about 5 presentations a day to get 50K. That's what it says. So then the question is, will those leads get it? Now, this was for this person, but that doesn't matter if this is how you're training people, because the sales, now the leads are important. Don't get it twisted, but the numbers are what's important, because the numbers are showing that based on what you're saying, these numbers for booked appointments and appointments showed are relative numbers that are pretty close. Like the cost to acquire a client being 150 for final expense is pretty much good. Now, this is for lead types. So you have to do this for each lead type. Hey, if you're doing this. So yes, you can shoot high, but to be really granular, it'd be best to say, hey, if you do this lead type, here's the expectation. If you do this lead type, so then when they choose their path, they know exactly what to expect. You can't tell somebody, hey, man, buy $2,000 a week worth of mortgage protection leads. You're going to get 35 booked appointments and you're going to close 13 of them and only write 3. They're going to be like, dude, no. You're going to need to buy more leads for that lead type, right? But then you're going to write a lot more. So you can't, it's not a one size fits all process, right? Now you can set a standard and say, hey, 35 booked appointments, 26. But what will happen is if you've not tested that, right, and you have not actually proven that, then what's going to happen is your agents are going to lose. They're going to lose encouragement because they're going to be like, this doesn't work. You can't tell somebody to put $2,000 up and book 15 appointments, have 26 presentations with a mortgage section, but you can do that with final expense. Right? It'd be different for veteran. It'll be different for IUL. So you need to have it broken down for each lead type. And that's why if you have that standard, you have much better, right? But you have to have both of them. You can't have a standard with no KPIs. You can't have KPIs and then not bring it down to standard, because there's tons of people who have a standard and then they're like, well, it doesn't work. It's like, yeah, because you haven't actually looked at the numbers. And they're like, oh, well, I have KPIs, but then they don't break it down into chewable size for their agents. So they're cooked. And that's the best way that you need to look at it. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Trey. I am the owner of Agent Lead Lab. We help 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month. And if you want strategies like this, we have strategic advisors. We can break it all down. You can head over to our website. I'll show you real quick. It's called Lead Lab CRM, right? You can go ahead and buy leads. It's really simple and straightforward. $15 to $2.50, all the way up to $55. Tons of new stuff coming out. And then if you're an agency owner and you may want to partner with us, you can go to our website. It's agentleadlab.com. We have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. You can go to this Apex or hit book a call. If you do not have an agency and you're not doing over 40K a month, or you don't have agents who are writing, 3, 4, your agency, that's doing anywhere from $350,000 to $500,000 plus, this is not going to work for you. It's $5,000 to $10,000 per month as a retainer. Okay. So if you hop on the call, don't ask the price, and you've seen this far, I've already told you, it's for serious agency owners only, and that's to hire us. You're hiring us. It's 5 to 10K to hire us, depending on your agency size and what you're looking for, and then you have to pay for ad spend. We're going to build your own go high level. We're going to build your own ads. We're going to break down strategies like this for you and your entire agency. So as always, if you need help, just let me know. Please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.